In our latest episode of Pelo Buddy TV, is Peloton coming out with a third product line?
And I had such fun interviewing Lawboy, also known as Geoff Heim in Pelo Chats, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Here are your hosts, Mark O'Rourke in the UK and Amanda Siegel in the US.
Welcome to episode 4 of Pelo Buddy TV, and it really is a privilege to be hosting this new weekly show. It's fantastic to be joined by my regular co-host, Amanda. Amanda, there's been another busy week in the world of Peloton, hasn't it?
It sure has, Mark, and I'm so excited to share everything that's been going on this week. It's always fun to be here, and I love co-hosting the show with you. So interestingly, Mark, after we saw a sneak peek of Jess King on the tread last week, a picture surfaced of a pre-run warm-up. So we're all kind of waiting with bated breath to see where this takes us. It's going to be an interesting week for everybody, I think. So let's see what happens.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Is Peloton about to launch strength equipment? Well, Peloton have advertised for Vice President of Marketing for Strength. Does it indicate that they might have a new product or a planned acquisition? The main question is the role just for existing strength content or a new product? Earlier this year, it surfaced that Peloton had approached Tempo, who makes such a device. John Foley is always talking about research and development and working on new products. Interestingly, Senior Vice President of Hardware, Sam Bowen, was recruited from Tonal, Connected Strength. Talking of new products, we still expect to hear soon about the new premium bike and the lower cost tread, but not the rower, Amanda.
Interestingly, Mark, yes, you're right. The rower is something that I've definitely heard a lot of folks talk about, and there's been chatter about that. And I think it would work really well in the ensemble of what Peloton has to offer. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. That's something that we're looking forward to for sure. So, Mark, there was news this week of a patent application by Peloton. This was first reported by Run, Lift and Live. The patent is a continuation of the same patent that Peloton has been enhancing since 2013. The last update, I believe, was applied for in October of 2019 and published in May of 2020. From what I can tell, there was two aspects from the patent that came to light. There's a section named gamification. Peloton details several features that have yet to be included in the equipment. With the new premium bike being talked about, as you mentioned, and the lower cost tread, it looks like they may introduce some new features. To learn more about this, head over to the Pelo Buddy website where you can find the full article. Mark.
Yeah, Peloton have introduced a new senior vice president of e-commerce, and he's come over from Amazon, Amanda. So he obviously sees a big future in Peloton to lead such a successful company. Also, the stock has gone up this week, and this is partly due to Goldman Sachs hiking up their valuation and suggesting that the stock was undervalued. Peloton stock has rallied some 140% this year, and Goldman Sachs have hiked up their price guide from 84 to 96, and in fact on Friday it reached 76. Unbelievable, Amanda. Do you know what? I should have taken your advice on that stock option a few weeks ago.
Yes, you should have. So I definitely have done some buying and selling, and am sitting today with a very big smile on my face.
Some other news. John Lewis in the UK have announced working with Peloton as a fitness concession partnership to be rolled out in 9 stores over the next few months. Oxford Street in London is the first to open, and you can also purchase clothing and jump on the bike. Kevin Cornells, the Peloton International Managing Director, said, "We are excited to be partnering with John Lewis, a company that is well known for its innovative product offering and in-store experiences."
So this week, Mark, saw some fun activity on the bike with our instructors. First off, we had Ben's Ministry of Sound ride, which took us all to Spain and the party island of Ibiza. Mark, I was fortunate enough to ride live on Monday, and it was fantastic. Ben was on top form, and the energy he exuded was palpable. No PB for me, but I was so darn close. Wednesday evening, we got to ride with Jess King in the Weeknd Artist Series ride. I have to say, Mark, I love the Weeknd, but I guess there aren't as many Weeknd fans as there are Prince fans. There were only about 5,500 of us who rode live versus the almost 24,000 who did the Prince ride. I did like it though, and it's always fun to ride live, being on the bike with others that we, as I've said before, in the community that, that we know and love and get to jump on with is always a wonderful opportunity. I am looking forward to seeing who's up next in the artist series. Perhaps a Sean Paul ride and run. There has been some speculation of that. Oh, and Mark, there are quite a few happy riders that Cody is bringing back his XOXO series for the second season. I believe he did 4 back in January, February, and they were very well received. Peloton went one step further and has launched an XOXO clothing drop in the apparel store. So all those Cody XOXO diehards, you better jump on quick, as I know that will disappear fast. Saturday saw Hannah Frankson in full carnival getup for her 30-minute carnival ride. I can't wait to do that one. And Bex Gentry did a carnival run over the weekend too. Olivia D'Amato will be doing her Power Hour Dead Mouse run on the tread too. So that should be a lot of fun. I haven't heard of Dead Mouse, but I certainly will try and see what that's all about. It should be an interesting ride. And lastly, the studio had some technical difficulties this week with a live ride with Ali Love needing to be cancelled. Of course, in true Ali style, she took it in her stride, jumped on Instagram, apologizing and told folks to get on demand and do a ride there. I guess these things don't happen too often, so no room for complaining. Mark, tell us what's going on the software updates.
Amanda, Strava has been in the news, and I know a lot of Peloton members use it to track their fitness progress and have integrated updates this past week. They're now offering leaderboard rankings, and the output is now added to the description. Integration is possible on both the bike and the tread, which is going to be really useful.
Yeah, I know there have been some iOS issues this week too. The ability to share workouts to notes was removed and then added back in after a few days in the new update. That certainly freaked some of the app users out, thinking it was removed for good. But it seems that it has been sorted now. So Mark, what's going on in the instructors world?
So Tunde has been in the news this week, Amanda, and she's been on today.com. The 34-year-old Peloton instructor announced that she's gone from a 13-year-old at 200 pounds and size 18 to a super fit trainer. Now, not an instructor, but the founder, John Foley, was interviewed on Masters of Scale and explained that he'd started pitching his idea of a home spin bike in 2012, and no one was interested. Can you believe that? 8 years on, and the business is now a publicly traded business worth over $20 billion, and he's created a fitness boutique, as he calls it. Do you know what? Give him 100% for persistence and pushing it forward. As John said on the interview, he turned skeptics into fanatics.
Are we all fanatics, Marks? There's no question that we thank John Foley every day for being persistent. And with talking about John Foley, interestingly enough, Jen Sherman was John's first hire. She was the first one on the bike, and I love Jen. She was one of the first instructors that I had started riding with. Jen had a great week this past week as she hit 100,000 followers on her Instagram. She is hysterical, though. She's often said, though, that she is Instagram challenged and her kids laugh at her. So it's kind of cool to see that she's gotten such a wonderful following behind her, and folks love seeing what Jen has to say because she's just so real. And certainly as a 50-year-old woman myself, I love being able to relate to Jen and what she does have to say. With that being said, Irene, who we don't hear much about, did an Instagram Q&A and mentioned that she would like to do more English rides, maybe even some bilingual classes. I so wish she would. Whilst Irene is German, she lived in Cape Town, South Africa for many years, my hometown, Mark, and I certainly feel an affiliation towards her. I think she definitely needs more exposure. And lastly, in our instructor news, Christine did a podcast this week with TC After Dark. I haven't had an opportunity to take a listen yet, but from what I've heard, she did an amazing job. So Mark, that's all the news for this week. Let's take a look at what's new with Pelo Gear.
Hi guys, I'm very pleased to be able to review a new product for you today. This is a seat accessory tray, and it's made by Carl Bowles of caboarchery.com, and very kindly sent it for me today to give an honest review. So basically I've just received it through the post, very well boxed, and what I will do is, once I've read the instructions and unpacked it and had a chance to actually put it on the bike and fix it on, I will take you to the bike just over there, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. So I'll see you in just a moment. Okay, so now that we've fitted the tray to the bike, I can tell you that it's made from a very solid, rigid plastic, which obviously means it's tough and it's not going to break easily. The product itself has enough space to hang a pair of shoes, and in my case the controls for my Dyson fan and my AirPods, but obviously when I'm on the ride I'll be able to use it for my phone as well. One problem with the Peloton is there always seems to be a lack of storage. Fitting this unit was incredibly easy. There is 2 wire tyres which are supplied with the unit, so one of them is there and the other one is this side, and all you have to do is literally insert the tyres, feed them through, and then when you get it to the length that you want, you press it up firmly against the saddle, and then you make the tyres tight, and then obviously you cut the ends off. This seat tray is available from caboarchery.com at a price of £22, and there are a variety of colours available. This particular one is the graphite. There we go. I hope you all enjoy it.
Do you want to get the most from your Peloton? It's time for our weekly Pelo tip.
Hi everyone, it's Mike here in the UK, bringing you this week's Pelo Buddy tips. So our physiotherapy Pelo Buddy tip this week is going to be looking at hip flexor stretches and what we call pre-mobilization movement patterns. So the first exercise that we're going to look at is take a kneeling position, left foot forwards, repeat these both sides, and we're just going to do 5 sequences on each. Repeat them on one side, then flip that to the other side, and then repeat. So first exercise, we're going to be in a kneeling, leaning forwards into the front leg, arms out in front, and we're going to lean forwards. Take it to what we call end range, ease that off, and then repeat. So all the way forwards, find end range, feel the stretch across the front of the hip flexor, ease it off. Take it there for 5 times. Once we've done that, we're going to go into the second part of the movement sequence. So opening up right hip flexor, you'll feel a little bit of left hamstring. From there, we're going to put the left arm on the inside of the left knee, right hand on the hip, and then we're going to open up that right hip. Rotate that back, and then repeat. As we're doing this, we're applying a little bit of pressure into the left knee, opening up the groin, and also at the same time, we're mobilizing the hip flexor and the hip. Movement sequences put together can mobilize and give you better stretch and relief from any tight areas, and obviously it's a little bit more time efficient. Once you've done 5 of them, last one, we're going to lean forwards, hands connect, and then we're going to reach up towards the ceiling. At the same time, reaching up with the right arm, we're going to apply pressure into that left knee, creating that open chain pattern, and then just bring that back as far as we can. So we're going to do 5 of these, hand as high as we can, apply the pressure through the left side, and then repeat for 5. Once you've done the 5, then we'll go to the opposite side and repeat. A couple of times through each of these sequences will make you feel a lot more mobile and prepared around the hip flexor and groin region. So guys, give those a go. Pelo Buddy Physiotherapy tips number 1. I'll see you for tip number 2 next time. See you soon, guys.
Let's get to know another person behind the leaderboard name in Pelo Chats.
I'm really excited to welcome this week fellow Pelo rider Geoff Heim. Geoff, are you there?
I am. Good morning. How are you?
I am well. Welcome, welcome. We're so thrilled that you are on the show today, and we're really excited to chat to you a little bit about your Peloton journey. What we've tried to do, Geoff, each week is find somebody different in the community with a different story and a different love and passion for Peloton and help them share that with the community. So, Geoff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Colorado. I live in a little village, artist village called Manitou Springs, which is 5 miles or so west of Colorado Springs. I'm a lawyer and a husband and a father, and probably should reverse those orders: father first, and and live in just a beautiful place with a network of trails around us, and really have a passion for fitness and the outdoors.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So if you do have the outdoors out there, tell us a little bit though, how did you find the bike and what drew you to going on a bike that goes nowhere?
My Achilles tendons. These trails out here are pretty rocky, and I have a history of rolling my ankles, and I was injured and really not able to do the work that I like to do to stay fit. And my wife had been, I think, looking at Peloton through Instagram, and decided that might be a good thing for us. So we took the plunge in the summer of 2018, and I've been riding every week since. So I just hit my 106th week yesterday, I think.
Wow, that's exceptional. You've kept on going for 106 weeks. That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it does.
It's something that it just draws you in, and if you find a good community to support, then it becomes part of your life.
Well, you took me on to my next question, because what I was going to ask you was what do you like about the community, and what have you found that has driven you to the bike on a consistent basis and made it that passionate thing that you do probably every day?
Yeah, I was just looking back. I think the last time I haven't been on the bike, or at least on the app, was sometime back in May when I was sick. So I had COVID, so that was one of the things that has really helped me through the recovery process. But I found Power Zone training is really the pack, I guess I'll say, because we're the Power Zone pack, that I joined early on, and found a really good group of supportive people through one of the challenges. And we've had a team of riders that have been together since December of 2018. So they're like friends and family at this point.
That's incredible. That's incredible. But I can't lose sight of the fact that you threw in the middle of that you were or you are a COVID survivor. Tell us a little bit about that and how that came about, and how that impacted obviously your fitness level and getting back on the bike, etc.
I was in court. Our court didn't close down until April, and I was in court on April 16th, I think, was the last day that I was there before I got sick. And then on the 19th of April, I woke up and I had just a splitting headache. My eyes had turned bright red. Fever went up to 104, and then I would get alternating chills. So I got really sick, couldn't get out of bed. And then about a week and a half later, when I finally was able to be a little bit mobile and get up and down the stairs, I started doing some low impact rides to regain some of my fitness, and just kept doing that for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then, my health started to come back at that point. I was feeling pretty good. The team I'm on, Power Zone Challenge team, actually has a couple of physicians on the group. So they were checking in on me daily and making sure that, I didn't need to get to the hospital or anything like that. So that support was just incredible.
Well, again, that takes us back to the community. It takes us back to the fact that we do have that ability to work with such a close community of folks that really care about us. And, I have to say, Geoff, in hearing stories from other folks within the community, I wouldn't be surprised if your fitness level and being somebody that has kept fit and healthy was probably one of the things that really got you through the illness, as opposed to somebody that was probably more sedentary. So I wonder if that's even, part of the recovery process, and making it a little bit easier for you to get back on the bike or the tread, and move forward. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it definitely had something to do with it. I know a couple of people that ended up in the hospital, and I sure think that they are farther back in their recovery, certainly, than I was at that same time. So definitely has something to do with it.
Sure. So, Geoff, tell me a little bit more about this Power Zone pack. And I know that you have definitely, developed a fantastic community, or been part of a fantastic community in the Power Zone pack. So tell me a little bit about how you kind of found it, and what drew you to that. I mean, it's something I've never done on the bike. I tend to be more of a, pop rider and theme rider. And I'm happy with that. But I'd love to hear how you got drawn to Power Zone, and what you do, and tell the community a little bit more about that.
Sure. Well, Power Zone is a, and you might be able to see, I've got a bunch of runners coming by right now.
That's
Power
awesome.
Zone is a, it's a method of training where, there he goes, where you establish kind of a baseline level of what your fitness is, which is called your functional threshold power. And that's the amount of effort you could sustain if you were going all out for 1 hour. And that forms a baseline fitness, and then you work off of that baseline fitness. And the goal would be to increase your fitness level. So you either work at that level, or a little bit above it, or a little bit below it, and you try to make incremental progress. The Power Zone pack is a group of riders that have all kind of bought into this science, and use it to provide accountability back to both the individual and the group, the team that you join, if you join a team. Our particular team is called the Bush University, and our name changes every time we have a new challenge. We get a new challenge every 10 weeks or so. And the name Bush University came from Matt Wilpers, who's one of the Power Zone coaches, talking about the band Bush. And at some point he said, "Yeah, I just can't get enough Bush ever." Just an unintentional double entendre, but we picked up on it, and we've never let it go. So we put the name Bush. Yeah, we put the name Bush into any team that we have. Last challenge, we were the Bush League. Before that, I think we just called ourselves Can't Get Enough Bush. And we've come up with T-shirts and hats and buttons, and our mascot's a beaver. So, real bushy beaver. So that's just been a hilarious running joke now for at least 6 months. So, 8 months actually. And
that's amazing.
It's a great group of people. We have a Zoom call. We actually will have it here in about 3 or 4 hours. And we have a cocktail party every Saturday. Last week we had a prom where everybody got dressed up in formal attire, and I think there were probably 40 or 50 people on the call. One of the Peloton instructors actually dropped in, which was a surprise. Somebody had
I bet I can guess who that was, and I have heard some rumors that there was some fun young lady that joined your group that night and partied with you guys. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's really, this bike is something that I look forward to every day. And I do theme rides and pop rides as well, but those are more of the fun rides, and the rest of it's actual training. So.
Right. And I understand.
Great adjunct.
Yeah. And I understand, Geoff, that you are a dual Peloton owner, in that you have both the tread and the bike. So have you seen any difference? I mean, I'm fortunate enough to own both as well, and tend to be a bike rider. My husband jumps on the tread, but I tend to be a bike rider. What do you find? Do you find you're drawn more to the bike than the tread? How have you found the tread? With the new tread coming out, I'm sure we're going to see a lot more interest in folks wanting to, get a tread. Tell us what your thoughts are.
I love it. It's just a fantastic piece of equipment. It's and I don't know that I would really want one of the new ones. The slat drive is just something that is incredible. It provides a great amount of cushioning. It's quiet. Compared to our old treadmill. I love it. I'm still in a place where my Achilles and my ankles get real sore if I increase mileage a lot. So when we got it 2 months ago, I'm being attacked by a hummingbird. When we got it 2 months ago, I of course came up with a plan where I was going to really gently get into it and just do some warm-up runs and some shorter runs, and then 2 days or 3 days into it, I decided to go all out on a 30-minute hit run with Selena, and just murdered my legs. So I'm backed off a little bit again. But I love the technology. I love the actual machine itself. But right now I'm drawn more to the bike because it doesn't hurt me as much.
Right. I think most of us tend to be. And I know that they launched a challenge that ends, I believe, at the end of next week to get in 4 runs, whether it be outdoors or on the tread. So I signed up for that. I'm not a runner. Unfortunately, I've suffered back injuries and have had 2 back surgeries. So I tend to stay away from the running. I do power walk, though. I do a lot of the outside walks and power walks. But, I'm sure you probably, I'm not sure if you've seen the challenge on the app, but certainly for lots of folks, that's just another badge. And you know how we all love our badges. So it gives folks an opportunity to do something like that. So Geoff, this is fantastic. And it's just so wonderful to get to hear different people in the community. We've had some of the English folks on, we've had some American folks, and it's just great to see everybody that is part of this community. So Geoff, thank you so much for joining us. As I said, it's really fun to have different folks from the community, whether they be here in the States or in the UK, just to learn a little bit more about who's in the community, what drives people to our Peloton family. And I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us and have a little bit of fun with us. I do want to have a little fun with you. And what I'm going to go ahead and do, Geoff, is do something called our 60-second descent and recovery. I will fire away questions to you, and you are going to give me your answers. And let's see if we can get them all in 60 seconds. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Bike or tread?
Bike.
Favorite instructor?
Dennis Morton on the bike and Selena Samuela on the tread.
High cadence or high resistance?
Yes.
Early bird rider or night owl?
Neither. Lunch.
Great. Meditation or strength training?
Strength.
Live or on-demand classes?
Both.
First class ever taken?
Jennifer Jacobs, 45-minute 80 ride.
Craziest leaderboard name you've ever seen?
So I've got a teammate whose son was King Kong Dong, but he just changed it to Me So Horny.
That is definitely the craziest leaderboard name I've ever heard. That's fantastic. Well, Geoff, Thank you so much. That is awesome. So most important question, because I know that our viewers and listeners are going to want to know, tell us what your leaderboard name is.
It's Lawboy, Lawboy.
I guess that makes sense for our lawboy in Colorado. Well, thank you so much, Geoff. I really appreciate you again taking the time to come and chat with us. And I bet you're going to have a whole bunch of new followers. So go ahead and make sure you accept them. And we'll see you on the leaderboard.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, Geoff.
Thank you.
It's time to celebrate our fans' milestones with Pelo Shouts.
Marathon Kev, happy 200, baby. Ruthie 96, happy 300 rides to you today. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you.
Proud girl dad, what's up 200 rides?
Marco 77, I see you there.
Hey, Queen Hustles. I see you, Queen. I see you. Stay with me, love, all right?
Big shout out to my Yes to You crew. Honestly, I am obsessed with the love and the support and just the sparkle of the community. Love from me to you.
Did you hit a milestone this week and get a shout out by your favorite instructor? Don't forget to let us know.
So I got a shout out, Amanda. I couldn't believe that.
That was so cool, Mark. I know. I heard that. It is amazing. It's crazy how we just get so excited when we get to hear our leaderboard name being repeated by our hero that's on the bike that goes nowhere. But that's so cool, Mark. Well done for you. Well done.
Leanne is so cool. She's so good to everyone in the community, whatever community you belong to. She always looks out for you, doesn't she? She never misses a milestone.
I do have to say that is one thing that I have noticed with her. And unfortunately, one does tend to steer towards a specific instructor and you get familiar and you tend to ride a lot with them. And, I had gone from Jen right in the beginning days to Ali Love, and now I love the UK instructors. So it has been fun to be a part of the community, and clearly having been able to have met you has been part of this too. So I really appreciate it.
Same here, Amanda. Same here. So we come to the end of episode 4, and it's been a real fun-packed and action-packed episode. Amanda?
It certainly has, Mark. And for those of you that have liked the episode, please feel free to leave a review and rating. And don't forget to share this with your friends. We want everybody to be part of our Pelo Buddy community. And there are so many different platforms that you can go on to take a listen or have a look at us. So please feel free to do that. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.
Why are you laughing? Oh, I'm not peeing. I promise you it's water.
I didn't know whether you'd gone into the bathroom or...
I promise you it's water from the machine.
Oh, dear. Is that recorded, Chris Giles?